Yeah, Carlin, you mentioned that voting for one of the two parties is throwing your vote away, and I've made that same argument to a lot of friends. But I'm coming from Virginia, where we just had a governor election last year, and I voted Republican for the first time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a libertarian on that ballot, it would have been a hard decision for me. And so if you were, running against Karen, and you knew that you were going to cause the Democrat to win, would you continue to run?
Oh, I would still vote for myself, absolutely. And let's talk about that election in Virginia with Glenn Youngkin, because I was a big fan of Glenn Youngkin and the message that he was sending. But the problem with Glenn Youngkin as a Republican is he got into office, issued an executive order on day one banning critical race theory in the classroom, except the executive order didn't actually ban critical race theory. It was all a show. It was all a production. It was a political game. And he made exactly the same mistake that Chris Sununu did in New Hampshire, because they didn't learn from what happened here. So I think, I understand the position that people are in. Do you want a Democrat, or do you want a crazy Democrat, or do you want a crappy Republican? I totally get it. But the problem is that until we start voting for the candidates that we actually want to represent us, the system will never change. And to be quite frank, and this is a little bit one of my controversial takes, I think that the Republicans need to lose several election cycles until they figure out what is required to actually run candidates that are going to do the things and deliver on the promises that they promise to their voters, because they simply fail at it over and over and over and over again. And so for me, I'm playing the long game. This is not about 2022. It's not about 2024. It's about what do we need to do to turn politics in this country around. If it requires the Democrats winning a few elections in order for things to get even worse and, quite frankly, accelerate how bad things are getting, I think that's better for libertarians, and I think ultimately, even though things will get worse in the short term, they will get better eventually. It's not a perfect solution, but it is certainly better than the two-party mania that we have today.